Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of The Amazing Spider-Man issue 65. Ooh, that is, well, kind of a crazy looking cover. It kind of deals with like the inevitability of death kind of thing that's going on. Though, if you didn't know what was kind of going on, you'd be like, what the fuck's going on with Spidey right there? But let us crack into it. Inevitability of death. There we go. To be clear, this is a waste of time. All of it. The Covenant is nothing but the echo of two egos in collision. The unstoppable and the immovable. So stupid. I hate it. I hate that I am expected to come to an insignificant rock, hurtling around a most average star, and engage with the champion of a race of unserious beings, and pretend that anything we do here matters. It's like, well, that's a hell of a way to start off, as we see Spidey and the ball thing. So let's crack a little bit more into it. Sorry to say, champion, our conflict is inevitable. You can always quit, because based on the beating I handed your brother, defeat is inevitable too. I have not conceded yet. Even now I plot my second wave of attack. And this is really kind of interesting of how we kind of have a kind of bigger kind of panel here, and then progressing further down in normal kind of panel structure. It's really kind of cool. We are different. Calyx craves power in my father's favor. I want to go back to my chambers. Perhaps wash this miserable challenge from my mind with flagons of red wine. Draw a bath. You don't sound like the other scions. You don't sound like Earth's champion. But here we are. Eviscerate him, Sierra. Shut it, tinfoil Loki. Silent scion of dog shit. That's what I'm going for. Heh. Tinfoil Loki. A worthy jape. Thanks. Thanks? I don't want to die again. I am certain that is true. Are you ready? One sec. Goodwin's golden vow. Flames of Farador, give me strength. It is not that kind of challenge. Your wards are meaningless. Hold the sphere until you can no longer bear it. Set it down, the challenge is over, and I win. Does it burn with the heat of 1,000 suns or something? Pain is Calyx's unimaginative obsession. The sphere shows only truth. I have found that truth is unbearable for your kind. How do I win? You will not. If I could, how would I do it? Hold on until the sphere has nothing left to share. Let's get this over with. It's like, I really like that panel there when they fucking are able to pretty just much shit on her brother, and they're like, heh, okay. So it definitely presents her as a kind of different kind of scion than what we've done so far. And as we start going through this challenge, this is a really kind of different one. Maybelle Parker Jameson is an accomplished philanthropist whose ability to inspire compassionate action amid the suffering of others earned her the post of chairwoman of the International Feast Organization at the age of 79. In the winter of the same year, a virulent plague sweeps across the earth, catching officials and health experts unaware. The initial surge of the Essex virus kills over 3 million people in less than a month. As a cancer survivor, May is especially vulnerable, and her ability to breathe on her own becomes gravely compromised. Her caregivers try multiple interventions, but her lungs will not absorb oxygen. The sound of the breathing machines is deafening. Doctors must yell their explanations that the only remaining course of action is intubation and induced coma. May chooses instead to offer her bed to someone with a greater likelihood of survival. She is resolute in her generous decision, as we see, of course, Pete crying. It's like, yeah, May would do that. Her caregivers honor her wishes and move her into the triage, where she will be made comfortable with a morphine drip until she dies among strangers. As she drifts off to endless sleep, chest heavy with labored breathing, May Parker dies wishing that she could have kissed her Peter, her son, one last time. And of course, we are seeing Coulson in the background, death coming for her. Inevitability of death. That's your kink. I've suffered more loss than you know, lady. I can watch sad movies about my life. You will. And the thing is, I love her expression there because she's like, yeah, you're gonna be seeing it. And I really love Spidey's look there. It really sells the kind of square eyes he's got there. Mary Jane Watson is no stranger to pain. As a child, she survived a broken home and abusive father. As a young woman, she suffered the brutish plots of other abusive men, but refused to let those battles dull her spirit. She fell in love with a family friend, but lost him to cosmic folly. That's one way to put it. When her most recent companion inherited the power to bend reality, she chose to use it to help others, before losing their children. As she battles one of the greatest villains her city has ever known, part of her reflects on all this and wonders, Could I have done things differently, lived differently, loved differently? Because for everything I think I did right, it feels like I never quite hit the jackpot I was promised. And again, I really love the kind of different kind of layout in the panelings here. Now, it really kind of fits what we've already seen in this issue, but I love how it is different and how it dynamically shows the action of what's kind of going on. Seeing Mary Jane hit back with that kind of glider harpoon. As the life drains from her body, only one answer comes to her. Mary Jane dies in the arms of her former lover and friend, dissatisfied. Again, Coulson. I get this game. Who can get bored first? Cool, I'm winning. The future isn't written. This is all just emo fanfic. True, it's possible she dies in her sleep at 94 or chokes on some fruit tomorrow. What is indisputable, however, is that her life will end. I know that, yes, but now you feel it. And it's like, there's a difference between knowing and feeling, and I kind of actually like that distinction is being made here. So we pop back up a little bit more as we start seeing Coulson in the background with Death, and I actually kind of like that. It's a very different kind of evolution for him. John Jonah Jameson, a millionaire, a shaper of public opinion, a firebrand, brain embolism. The corporation that owns his sensationalist news outlet has him replaced within a week. It's time to go, Mr. Jameson. Sierra is right. I know it to the marrow. Shay Amelia Markin paid off her nursing school loans 5 months ahead of schedule. She faithfully and competently served the patients of Ravencroft for nearly 2 decades. A drunk driver crosses the median and strikes her vehicle at over 100 miles per hour. It's time to go, Miss Markin. It doesn't matter whether or not this is actually how my friends die. Randolph Robertson has been an advocate for the downtrodden and oppressed since high school. When a rally meant to address the housing crisis turns violent, he is one of 6 trampled to death. Before his spinal cord is broken, he wonders if the fight has been worth it. I'm here, Mr. Robinson. Only that they will. Felicia Sarah Hardy has been criminal and crime fighter. In both capacities, she dared to restore a semblance of economic balance to the world. One day, her luck simply runs out. She falls to her death without regret. After a considerable estate is confiscated by the government and earmarked for redistribution in the prison industrial complex. Hey, Felicia, it's time. One day, whatever makes them, them will cease to be. Elizabeth Brant Leeds wonders what will become of her family once she is gone. She has been the generous, loving matriarch to a family whom she fears will disassemble in the wake of her passing. A moment of clarity gives her with the realization that it does not matter and she can let go. She wishes her loved ones a life of uneventful simplicity, Mrs. Brant, and they leave behind Norman Osborn as the subject of no less than 78 non-fiction books. Scientist, supervillain, public servant, monster, father, every dimension of his life inspires study. For a few decades. After that, his name appears as a footnote in books about other notable humans. After that, his name is only found as an answer in trivia contests. His works great and terrible forgotten. Mr. Osborn, it's time. What is left behind? And it's very interesting as it starts going faster and we start getting these kind of looks. It's like, yeah, that's just what happens. Like, even with Osborn, it's time keeps going on and you just become the footnote for other things. Miles Gonzalo Morales. Bailey Briggs, Gwendolyn, Maxine, Stacy. The next generation of spiders, extinguished along with the lives of countless others. Their deaths will be meaningless in the resolution of the cataclysm. Interesting. They do not die as martyrs. They do not die as heroes. They just die. Humans full of potential and promise and love and fear and confusion one moment, empty shells of meat and viscera the next. And that sucks. It's like you see Spider-Boy, Ghost Spider, and Spider-Man dead and some giant hulking thing in the background. No, they're kids. Human children die too, even brave ones. And the thing is, she does not look happy. She's like, this sucks, Mr. Morales. Miles, I'm sorry, but it's time. No. Spider-Man, how? Oh, you're still then in the Covenant. Not them, Coulson. And, of course, Pete's trying to stop this, but it's fucking with him. It's their time, Spidey. I'm sorry, truly. I can save them. You didn't. I'm sorry. I have to do my job. Wait. Just set down the sphere. It won't get better. No, Coulson. It's... And then I really kind of like this one, where it's like 2 giant panels, but you're still getting the progression of what's going on. You see, it's not the pain of dying you have felt before. You died yourself. You can't. I don't have a choice. I hope you know that. Mr. Harridan, it's time. It's not the fear, though that can be terrible at times. But you understand fear. They deserve to live. Everything that lives dies. You know that. Hello, Mr. Arpeo. It's time. It's not the loss itself, great as it may be, sorrowful as it is, uncelebrated, unnoticed. It's inevitable. Don't say that. Hey, Captain, it's time. Or even heralded. Fuck me. Huh. What you understand now with crystal clarity each time you see a fellow human die is the utter lack of impact they had on the world. Which is bullshit. I mean, sure, you can say that on a long enough timeline these human deaths and their lives have no impact, but even in that little moment, if it's just for a spec, if you make someone smile and they have a better day and they're able to do something really awesome the next day, it's something. It's only looking at it at a certain kind of viewpoint. And seeing Spidey's helmet, his mask kind of come off is really kind of cool. I feel the weight of their lives vanishing. I do too, Pete. Can't you stop, please? With a long enough view to the horizon of the cosmos, no single life matters. Sure, but then guess what? That cosmos also dies. Everything has an end and a turning point. A foundational element of your worldview is crumbling more with every death to which you bear witness. It's really fucking with them. Everyone dies. Everyone is forgotten. Every legacy ends. Every great work is lost. You came from nothing. You return to nothing. Life is nothing. This is why you fight. In defense of ephemeral whispers who were dead the instant they were born. Trapped in meaningless lives with inevitable ends whose echoes fade and only leave silence. And that's a powerful shot there of Spidey and Coulson like that. And I vehemently disagree with her, and I would like to see Spidey have some kind of thing. And also, One World Under Doom. Maybe 2025, getting close there. And of course we see Spidey crying, and it fucking sucks. She doesn't even really like this. You have no idea how much I hate this little human. No idea. But then he starts getting hit. It's like, what the fuck? Your distraction works, sister. Now I shall finish the battle you interrupted. This is not your time, Calyx. Stop. I will tell father of your assistance, Sierra. It's like, fuck you. And again, I like the kind of diagonal here, and then also getting to regular paneling, too. But he will know who killed the champion. As, of course, Spidey has cracked down. It's like, sweet Jesus. See me, Father Calyx. See me, Sidorak. Crack, as he's just beaten him to death. See me, see me, see me, as Spidey still holds onto the sphere. But we then see that it just became too much. How many did you get through? 171,963 is my record. I couldn't warn you. I'm sorry. Sierra's trial never changes. The others like to experiment, but you did it. You held on. 3 scions remain. Well, he held on, so, of course, he died holding it, so it's like, goddamn. 3 scions remain. And if you can believe it, they are worse than what you've faced thus far. You're more than halfway through, Spider-Man. Hang in there, Spidey. Of course, we see that that's kind of, strange talking. And I do love that Coulson is trying to be as supportive as possible. You have acquitted yourself well, but I need you to redouble your efforts, Peter. The trials ahead require skill and imagination, and why? I don't understand the question. Why do we do any of it? It doesn't... Peter, what you saw, what you felt, I know it's a lot. But you know that people die. You're not naive. It's what we... Exactly. And what we are is meaningless. And just seeing the pain in Pete. And I really like how Strange is done there for the astral projection. And just Pete's pain in his face. It's just like, Peter, I'm sorry you were pulled into this. I'm sorry it hurts. I'm sorry too, Doc. I quit. You can't quit. The Covenant must be upheld or the world falls. Let it fall. I don't care. So we see Coulson in the background. It's like, shit. So we'll have to see how this kind of works out. We get fan letters, and then we pretty much get, like, Spidey and symbiotes here, if you want to check that out. Also, it brings up that, let's see, we are also getting the, like, point deaths thing. That kind of fucked me up a little bit, because I didn't know if it would be, like, within the same thing, or if these were, like, one-offs or completely in here, but I'm getting them as well, and then restarting to see what's going to be going on with Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, here we go. Next week, don't miss the first extra issue, Amazing Death, Spider-Man 65-point deaths. Which I kind of question them doing because this is already coming out 2 times a month. Which, I mean, we've been getting good quality here that I've been enjoying. If you haven't been enjoying it, I completely understand it, and I totally get that. But I'm like, that's a big kind of schedule there. And then, of course, showing off the 65-point deaths, and then, of course, 66 with Spidey and Felicia kissing on the side of the building. So, I really enjoyed this one because of how hard it was. It really was a serious kind of take, and Spidey and Coulson going through with this, Spidey being like, yeah, I've dealt with this, but then understanding what this kind of trial did. Even Sarah not really being that gloaty or anything. It's like, but Spidey needs to have that kind of answer. I mean, yeah, Reed kind of has a similar kind of view of Sierra, only that it goes more to the hopeful side that you can do of like, yeah, nothing matters, but you can then craft your own meaning from that and create something that matters. It's hopefully we see Spidey kind of deal with that and kind of bring it off to it. I don't blame him because of like how many times he's dying, what's been going on. He's been put in vastly over his head, and Doom is providing no support whatsoever. Doom is being a fucking bad Sorcerer Supreme. Strange is doing the best that he can, but he has also has responsibility because of what he has done here, and I mean, he doesn't have that much time to train Spidey and kind of help him to kind of deal with this because it's in the middle of it, but he made this covenant, and Spidey is now forced to deal with this because Doom's like, I'm not going to do this because it's wasting my fucking time. Well, is it, oh great and mighty Dr. fucking Doom, Sorcerer Supreme of the fucking Earth? Asshole. But I liked seeing Spidey kind of just gradually go down and then seeing what was kind of going on, and because it fit within his character how his reactions were kind of going, at least in my view. If you don't agree with that, I totally get that. I think that Spidey needed to push back a little bit more, but I think we're getting in the next part probably for him to push back on that and deal with it more and find the answers against what Sierra was showing him. And it was really kind of nutty for Calix to pretty much just beat his ass to death, and he still held on to the orb, the sphere, as it was going on. So, we'll have to see what's going on. Spidey is the champion. He's going to have to deal with the other ones because we've seen solicitations and everything like that. But how he gets drawn back into it, how he's able to get himself and pick himself back up and deal with this is the important bit. And I'm actually really loving Coulson's inclusion in here. How he's trying to help Spidey as much as possible, but there's only so much he can do as being the new Avatar of Death with the Death Stone and everything. So, we'll see what goes on. So, those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.